podcast is rated TV PG for fantasy violence and language. Welcome back to Star Wars Birth of the Republic tabletop role-playing game. Episode 23. I'm Kirk, and I will be your storyteller.
I am Andrew. I play Hakru, the Zabrak Scout.
I'm Eric. I'm playing Lashara, the Bothan Noble.
I'm Greg. I'm playing Dodd, the Human Scoundrel.
Yeah, I'm Seth, playing Jad Marketa, the Rhodian Scoundrel.
This is Mary, and I will be playing Ruurah, the Tagorian Scout.
Welcome back to another episode of Gaming Without Gaming, Star Wars Birth of the Republic. Last time we finished up with Lash's rescuing of her parents from a assassination attempt and a takeover, very hostile takeover. And it was because a business associate of her father's, Lash's father's, was originally intended to marry Lash's mother, and she turned him down to marry Lash's father. And years later, he set up a arranged marriage between his son and Lash, and no one knew about it except for Lash's mother. So when Lash took off for the great unknown, it sort of threw a wrench in everything and really upset the guy far more than it normally would have upset anybody who just set up an arranged marriage. So he apparently, as Lash's mom was trying to find Lash and spend money on bounty hunters, and her estate was sort of collapsing and running out of money, they were firing their house hands, their cooks and their servants and things like that. And this rival found out and paid the cook to basically poison Lash's father over a longer period of time, and when she left, she put the final dose in, or the final big dose in. And Lash returned home just in time to save him, and Dodd and Jad were drinking at a bar nearby when they heard some local hitmen were talking about hitting their place that night, and so everything collided in Lash's estate, family estate, and it was a rough battle. Several people were hurt pretty bad, but the enemies were all vanquished. They went back and did a counterstrike on the guy's tower, flew in with the Ripper, while half of the group went up into the tower to actually talk to the guy and collect the bounty on Lash's father, who everyone thought was dead. And then all kinds of stuff happened. Windows were blown up. People were shooting at each other. The son came in, or was there at the very end, and he was very upset about the whole thing anyway. Like he had nothing to do with it. Didn't want anything to do with it. So he left. He ran out, and the father shortly thereafter ran out into the hallway, and Lash, I think, either beheaded him or stuck a lightsaber in his back from a distance. The kid went before the council on Bothwee and explained what had happened, and that he was selling off all significant assets of his family estate except for, I think, one big one that would sustain him for the rest of his life, probably. But there was no sort of hostile fighting it or anything. So Lash's family was trying to buy up assets and that's kind of where we left off, I believe. Losh had given the family like 500,000 credits, which wasn't enough to buy up everything, but it was to get a good start. And I think that's where we left off. You guys are still on planet. You're still in the hotel. And that's kind of it. I know it's only been like a few days since everything was turned over from Adant's empire. But yeah, so I know it's been a while for us. It's been like 2 months almost since we last played, and a lot of stuff's been happening over the holidays, so I guess you guys are all sitting in the Hilton on Bothwee around the pool. Jad's in the pool again with a drink on his chest, with a straw,
Absolutely.
curly straw
Absolutely.
into his snoot, and everyone else is sitting around. Dodd is going through the daily Bothwee papers, and looking at all the announcements and what's going on. And there's actually a really big write-up about the trickery used to flush out the assassins of the Caffrey estate and how that turned out, and the disgrace that the other gentleman, I can't think of his name, that's why I'm not naming him, faced during all this. And the prodigal daughter returned, so there's a little write-up about Losh and her background and everything, but nothing about what she's doing now. It's just, it's almost like they looked at her high school records and sort of wrote up that, she ran a year of track and field and was Miss homecoming queen, that sort of thing. So it was nothing what's going on now.
Of course she was.
Leader of the business leaders of tomorrow, sort of thing. The president.
PLA.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
A crew just looks over at Ruurah. What is a big sale?
And the sale of his assets are going to take about a month to get everything sort of tidied up, put on the market, put out for sale. Lasha's family still has the first bid on everything. If they can pay it, then they will absorb it into their holdings.
Are there any of this guy's holdings that would be potentially interesting to us as also future business leaders of America? Seth has disappeared.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good.
He set his drink on
Sabrosa.
the side and took a dive underwater.
There he is.
Really moisturizing the skin. So anytime he just disappears, he's just doing his dip.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why Rodian
Making
skin's so smooth. I get it. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I fell into the water and I saved my drink though.
There you go.
Like a champ.
In watching over the last couple episodes that we just posted, I forgot that you guys had transferred all of Odant's holdings to the corporation, the Aqua Minoc Consortium, and that brought in like $290 million a month.
Yeah.
It's been a week or two, probably. So
that's like 150 million.
let's just
rich, bitch.
let's just say you guys have been on Bothwee for about 3 weeks. So it's been 4 weeks total. Okay. So you guys have a lot in the bank.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to help out Lasha's family and purchase all the assets and then do business with her family.
Well, that's what I was thinking when I was going through the newspaper. I said, so Lash, anything in that guy's portfolio that you think would be potentially interesting to us?
That's an interesting question. A lot of it is, just corporate ties, and just business assets. But it looks like there's a couple businesses that we might be able to use to our advantage when it comes to our new asset at the station.
Yeah. See, I don't. Greg, the player, does not know what money laundering is, but he knows that it's important somehow, right? But Dodd would know all about it, and he proposes to Lash, we could use this connection to clean some of the money that we're getting from less than savory situations until we can really clean it up and make it as legitimate as possible.
One thing to remember is the Republic does not have any sway out here in the Outer Rims, so you don't have to launder any money. There's no IRS. There's no government body looking over your sales.
So this is a utopia.
It's free money. It's free money. It's whatever money you make. There's no accounting.
It's real estate.
Yeah, no one's accounting it. I mean, it's like the West when people just went out and like put stakes in the land and like, this is mine now. Like, no one said anything until the government came in and said, you know what, we want to tax that.
I think
that's ours now.
I think I'll suggest to Lash that before we leave, why don't you and I go have a talk with your family and see if we can't promote a little bit of positive energy into creating a combined effort here, right? I think that we're in a position where we could help them out quite a bit. And I feel as though having assets on Bothwy could be very useful to us in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And my brother is just finishing school as a business major. My family's been involved with business our whole lives. It's what we do. So we can talk to my family and see how they want to help, how they'll be allowed to help, and go from there.
What is sense motive in this game? Is it gather information?
Yeah, gather information.
All right,
it's been a while. Are you looking for lies, or are you gather information is like talking to groups of people and pooling information that way? I want to say
this would probably be more like perception.
It's just straight up perception.
So, I rolled a natural 20.
There you go.
I got that out of the way, so expect a lot of failures for the rest of the game tonight. But I'm going to look at whatever the stock exchange looks like in this newspaper that I've been reading and see how much of it is associated with that guy's plan, and just kind of make some suggestions to Lash for what we might be interested in based on that. Growth industry stuff.
He holds
material.
I want to say
it doesn't have to be specific.
It's about, I don't want to say 60%. It's about 12% of the planet's total financial holdings. He holds 12% of this thing. And while you're doing your research with your 20, you're looking through his portfolio and you're seeing that it's all mostly on planet. There's no exporting his stuff anywhere else, which is a huge deficit that you guys can open up to sending stuff directly to Coruscant. And there's a lot of very rare plants on this planet that are nowhere else in the galaxy. A lot of foods and things like that.
At what level do we get our next skill?
It's every level? No.
So if you're looking at actual like skill, like the skill, not like a talent or feat, but the actual skills,
right?
You only get those if your intelligence modifier increases, or if you take a skill training feat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if
otherwise,
you
whatever skills or if you multi-class.
Okay.
Otherwise, you don't get any new skills, and even then, when you multi-class, you don't get many.
No.
I think I'm going to multi-class, not multi-class. I think I'm going to start working towards business as a knowledge. So
yeah, you can do the feat would be the next best thing, and I think that's at level 8. Your next feat. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Depends on class and what you got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
all right.
Suss that all out.
Anyway, we don't have to role play all of this. I just figure that would be something that Dodd would be doing if he's looking through that stuff, and he'd be bouncing this back and forth off of Lash.
The biggest hole is he kept all of his enterprises on planet between other areas of the planet, trading back and forth. But there seems to be a very lucrative, like a tobacco leaf that is grown here that is not fully hallucinogenic, but it is euphoria-inducing, and it's very
Wacky tobacco.
kind of, yeah.
So Lash is going to just mention that there's plenty of space for stores and stuff in our new facility, and we could start an export business very, very easily. That again could the family could help with, and we could just kind of pull a percentage of the assets or pull a percentage of the earnings off of,
like a tariff.
Yeah,
the import-export fees.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's great. Let's talk to your dad. Let's talk to your brother. Let's move on that, because I don't want to have a lot of liquid capital.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of you've got a shipping hub already in your possession that you can ship it to, and then they can ship it out with other things that are going across the galaxy. So it's
Sounds good.
So it's not like you're having to hire one freighter to send a shipment to one planet and to another planet.
Yeah, the way I'm feeling it, Lash, is the more legitimate business that we can get involved in, the better it's going to be for us.
And all of his name was Hosk, and all of his business dealings are above board, or not creepy or
as far as
cringe-inducing.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So how much is it going to cost us to buy up a significant portion of those assets?
That is a good question.
Because we do have all this money in the bank from our earnings at the station, and we don't want to maintain a bunch of liquid assets.
Right.
We want to look like a bona fide business.
And we could also be using those assets to funnel stuff to the space station again.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that go ahead, Jad.
I would say all Jad can think about is, man, we have so much money. I'd love to buy like a hammerhead. That's all
like the people?
The ship.
Oh, okay.
How distasteful. We just turned that whole industry off.
Right.
I mean, maybe we could hire a couple of Thorians, but
no, that's not.
Okay, so
boy, how much would that cost?
Well, all I'm saying is that in a realistic sense, there's a tithe that we owe to the Hutts, right? Yeah. There's an operational expense that occurs inside of the station itself. There's also maintenance and futures for the businesses that are still running. So just because we have, say, 200 million, it doesn't mean that 200 million is liquid.
No, it's not liquid, but it's all profit. Everything else is taken care of maintenance wise, and it's all cool. That's what he makes over top of everything else. So and that all gets moved off into his private accounts. And
that chode decided to show up by himself.
He's never had any problems before. He's worried. Cool. He's sent in a pretty scary assassin that blew up a building, which has terrified people in the past. There's been no Jedi showing up with a ragtag bunch of scoundrels and soldiers. It's smugglers. So it's worked before. It's worked very well for him before. He just walks in and sort of mops up. He's got lots of money. He doesn't. It's a different type of living. So
he got a report about what happened. He's like, "What do you mean it didn't work?"
Yeah, he's going to a construction.
What do you mean?
Yeah, he went to a construction company that has no security. The guy is really laid back and considered a pretty above board businessman. So why would he take?
Why would he expect trouble?
He just scared the shit out of this guy. Blew up his building to prove that how vulnerable he is. Why would he need?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to figure out what to do with some of this money.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out
more than I've ever had any kind of game ever. That's
right.
What 1 month is more money than I've ever had in any game I've ever played.
Right.
Where we could buy fleets of ships.
Yeah.
Well, at least a couple good sized ones, maybe even a hammerhead ship.
But who's going to fly him?
NPCs.
A crew.
Did you say a crew or ha crew?
A crew. A crew. Oh, but we might need a crew, and that's where the Ithorians come in.
Right.
Anyway,
200 $2,100,000. Does that make sense? It almost takes your whole month, except for a little bit. I'm just not seeing it. 21.
it doesn't matter.
210. Yeah. Thousand.
Once we're dealing with that kind of money,
yeah.
it's abstract anyway. Right. So let's make an offer to purchase the assets and then write up an agreement for them to purchase them back over time. That way we're actually gaining money on this investment, right, and we're putting a foothold in on our new import-export business that we're going to capitalize on. And the Bothans may be able to, if they're interested, supply some sort of security for these shipments and bolster the defense of the base.
Yeah.
So
actually, you could just give them the money to do it and then become a partner at like 5%. So you're making 5% of whatever they make every month. And
would a Bothan respect that deal? I don't feel like they would. I think that they would respect the deal where we buy it and they purchase it from us. I think that you give a Bothan that kind of benefit, they're going to look at you suspiciously like, why are you giving me this?
From his daughter?
It doesn't matter who it is. They're a suspicious group of people. Eric, you want to jump in on this?
I mean, her family's always been fairly straightforward, business-wise. I mean, the amount of shade she's just learned in the last year about, personal stuff throws her off. But like business-wise, they've always been, they've never had to cover things up for business or anything like that. So
yeah, they can be paranoid at times, but they can also be loyal, really loyal. So
okay, well, however you guys want to do it, I'm fine with.
Yeah,
those.
I mean, do we want
for us either way?
Do we want to like get so far in depth where we have a spreadsheet of earnings on a monthly basis and keep that running?
Yeah.
Or
good.
I mean, I have no problem doing it.
The way I would prefer is just to deal in abstracts, honestly. We've got this kind of wealth, let's use it this way. That kind of thing. And then, hey, we need to buy this Star Cruiser. Kirk, Game Master, do we have enough surplus to buy a Star Cruiser?
Yeah.
And then
it is credits, and everything has a cost in this universe, a very definite cost. So if you want to do a spreadsheet, do it.
I say I get where Greg's coming from, and keeping it abstract lets us dive into characters more. Right. However, if it's fairly easy to keep running, because we keep pretty good tabs on time as time goes by, and I'm good with spreadsheets. I'll volunteer to keep up the business money.
Yeah,
I kept these initial.
Yeah, and I don't want to be the arbiter of yes, you can buy that, no, you can't buy that this month, that sort of thing. That's a White Wolf Systems thing, and it's just for people that like the details, it's not very satisfying, and it puts a lot on me to be like, no, you can't rent a car this month because you've stressed out your 2 dots. Well, what does 2 dots mean? Well, it's roughly this much, but it's not really, because you could liquidate and get more. Let's just
I'll keep track of it,
especially if you guys are talking about buying small starfighters and things like that. Like this is all part of that.
Right, cruise to man, because we're not going to be flying those starfighters. Someone's going to do it. So money is definitely going to be going out, and I think it's kind of fun keeping track of some of that stuff. Especially because like this is going to get bigger. It's going to get more convoluted,
right? And
it's good to know at the base level where we're at and what we're doing. But I'll tell you what, I'll put that spreadsheet together, and it'll take an off camera talk with Kirk to get the base level, and then after that, anything that gets added, I can just put it on that spreadsheet. So
okay. The next question is that there's actually 5 people in this room that need to be satisfied with this deal. So what do the rest of you guys think about this? This will put us at being able to make a gigantic purchase in another 30 days. game
Right.
time.
No, I'm absolutely fine with it, especially out of character. If it's something that Eric wants to take care of, feels like
It
he
leaves
does, then
it leaves you
all
with
for it.
it leaves you with 80 million in the bank. So you think you could stretch it out for another 29 days?
I don't know, man. It's going to be tough.
In Jad's mind, he's gonna go Ross Perot and be like, "Do whatever you guys want to do with our money that we have together, because I got $3 million in the bank."
Right.
Right.
Which is funny because I looked up the Hammerhead cruiser. I don't know if I think Kirk threw a number out for something. I don't know what that was for. In the book, it's only 3.5 mil.
Oh, Jad can almost buy one on his own.
I was gonna say,
I'll loan you the other 5.
Yeah, it's a that does not come with any of the crew.
Right.
Like it's just the ship.
Right.
well, and this is going to be kind of out of character here just for a minute, but I really like. It's fun to get involved with this stuff, but I think we really need to figure out ways for this money to go away. Like it needs to get invested. It needs to be caught up in some yada yada thing. That there's a ton of money that we'll keep track of, but I don't think that we as characters have this kind of money on hand. Like, I think we should get some kind of percentage of whatever we end up with that gets put to our accounts, and that's what we can play with. But like $290 million a month, we could buy a goddamn Star Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
Yes, we can.
that's
Today.
nuts. That's nuts kind of money. I don't know. Like,
Eric,
I don't want to speak for
completely
Kirk,
agreeing with
but
you.
you know,
I
That's
completely
actually-
agree with you.
Like Ruurah is perfectly happy having somebody else deal with the money because that's like conceptually that's just too much. Like she doesn't know what to do with those numbers.
right?
Her
We
crew is
need-
further removed than that.
right.
Yeah,
we-
Chad has no interest in being
Eno's
in charge.
addition.
Yeah.
So talking
Well,
about the money and having characters help decide business things to help with this almost abstract kind of money that we don't necessarily have on hand will be fun to RP. But I think we should end up like settling. We don't have to do it now, but like very soon settling an amount that we get as a character per month, percentage wise. And that's what, instead of us having to worry about 290 million, Jad has to worry about 1.2 million
Right.
or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course, I want to take care of Haro too.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, no, I'm in a complete agreement with you, Eric. I think that's. I think I would love to have some Iron Man-esque moments or Tony Stark-esque moments where I walk in and buy a place here and
Right.
there. That would be freaking amazing. But
Yeah.
as Dot as a player at level 5 does not level 5, level 6. What am I?
6.
Level 6. Probably not the money slinger Billy the dollar sign just yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it feels a little weird. But let's invest smart. Let's triple that by the end of the year or something like that. Put corporate goals on it, and also keep in mind that my big plan is to edge out this other regime that exists that probably has on a scale 10 times that access. Right.
Yeah.
So we need to build.
I'm kind of assuming that a good chunk of this is going to end up on cutting room floor. But I know one thing we were talking about was making like secondary characters and things like that to handle all of the other ships and stuff. So while the crew as a character, it's not so much wants to be as far like he literally has. You're trying to ask a fish to fly. With a crew, I also have no problem cranking out another character and act because I actually do like this kind of bookkeeping stuff. But it's cranking out a second character who is in the bureaucracy, who would then RP along with this. That I think that takes some of the pressure off of Kirk to try to have a million characters all doing this stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, I have no problem making that character.
We could also program a droid to do some of that stuff too. Right?
That might have been the character I was thinking about.
Oh, don't touch my HK unit. I love
No.
it.
I was thinking of it is a droid. It's a fun idea, but I'm going to hold off.
Okay. I've also been considering. I'll even RP this. Hey, how crew? As he's doing whatever it is he's doing around the pool at the Hilton with the rest of us.
He is fully dressed with a big fuzzy robe on and a towel wrapped around his head.
Nice.
It's like the most uncomfortable relaxation you've ever seen. He's visibly sweating because of how many layers it is and how warm it is outside. But this is just how he knows people relax.
Okay. Yeah, observed behavior. I get it. So I'll look at her crew for a second, give them the up and down, and then shake it off, and then say, "Hey, her crew, have you ever thought about that HK droid that I've got hanging around in the hold?"
He is very stiff. I try to talk with him, but he does not seem interested, so I do not pressure him.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering if you'd take a look at him, because I've noticed that he's kind of stiff too.
If he just kind of like looks over his shoulder at the HK droid. But he is standing still right now.
Is he hanging out with us on the roof?
I'd imagine he's like in the room or something like that, just like standing guard by the door, because that's probably where you set him up.
Okay.
If you want. Otherwise, he's on the ship, guarding the ship in the spaceport.
Either way, whatever makes the most sense. So, Hakura, I was thinking about it. We've got some really colorful droids, and this guy stands out. I'd like him to feel like a part of the team. So whatever resources you need from me, we can work that out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if he wants, we can get him one of the chips that Leto and F7 have.
This is awesome.
That was their request. I mean, like I don't do anything without their consent.
Okay, we'll have a talk with him then. Okay, so we've got a game plan. What's next after we get that done?
A crew like hand fists a martini glass and just it's full of like 7-Up.
Nice.
One quick out of character question. We had time to back to heal up after everything, right? We are all at full.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's been a 2-week two and a half week span since the fight, and the takeover was like a week later, and you guys are still sort of just relaxing on Bothwy.
Okay, cool.
Ruurah's been kind of quiet this whole time. She's hanging out with you all, sitting on the edge of the pool, just kind of kicking water because it's fun, in a quiet way with a drink.
She's got cat class and she's got cat style.
Absolutely. But at the question of, so what do we do next? She actually looks up and she goes, I have something I want to do.
Okay, let's hear it.
I've talked to Jad about this, right? Jad or Dodd? Jad. Sorry.
Dodd is the other guy. He's in the top right corner.
You don't want. I've talked to Jad about this a little bit, and I think Hakru, but I don't know. I have coordinates. They're nearby, and I want to go see what's there.
What are they from?
So, you guys picked me up from Jad's ship.
Yeah. Was that Jad's ship?
No, well, I actually don't know. He was in a cell when I found him.
Oh.
Yeah, it was Jad's ship.
This is getting confusing. Okay.
But it was from my ship. I don't know. It was all very confusing. But
yes.
I think everybody else died. Including my uncle.
Oh, God.
This is everything I could find that was his. I don't know what it is.
What are you showing us?
She's been holding the whatever data stick has, that she pulled out of the lockbox.
Oh.
That's literally where. Yeah.
It was in a little puzzle box that she has to manipulate, and it opens up, and there it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jad's I saw that in the junk pile. I didn't know it had that in there.
But as she's saying this, Jad has dropped his drink into the pool and is getting out and drying off. Been like, yeah, let's go.
Okay. That sounds like a vote for the going. Do you know how far this is?
Yeah, I mean, we looked it up. It's within a couple of days.
1 day of Bothwy.
I'd say Mary doesn't remember, but it's
A little less. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, let's do it.
We're not doing anything else right now. It's
Hey,
something I'd like to do.
if it's something important to you, it's important to the rest of us, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, let's do it. Sounds good. When do you want to go?
I mean, I don't want to take you away from your relaxation before you're ready to go. But
Let me send a couple of emails over to Lash's family. Let's cement the deal that we're going to do and try to make sure that everything goes right for them. And then we'll leave tomorrow morning. Does that work?
That should be just fine.
So you're saying I just spilled my drink into the pool and got dried off for nothing?
Yeah, but here, advantage, you get to get wet again.
Ah, awesome. Jump up the cliff and back into the pool.
Ruurah's like, oh my God, stop splashing the cat.
We'll do a quick cut of Dodd and Lash talking to her mother and father on a video conference, and they are floored that you're going to give them money to buy up the rest of his assets. Like, they're just gobsmacked and very appreciative. And them paying 10% back or 5%. You guys offer like 5%, and they offer 10% because it's all bonus that they're going to be pulling in. So 10% of all his businesses are just going to be continually paid to you guys as a thank you for setting them back up and saving their lives.
Make it a deal where you start doing business and exports out of our station, and we'll make it 5. Yeah?
He insists on 10, but he says we'll do that. We'll start that immediately. And we'll grow that. Yeah,
I'll get you the access codes, and I'll let you know who to talk to.
Yeah. As far as he's concerned, you guys are his new nieces and nephews. That's the way he's sort of treating you. It's a very you're in the family now, you're part of the family. That's sort of the way he keeps talking. So, and then we'll cut to the night. F7 comes to you and says, "Sir, there are a few requests that are coming in from Goshi base, just general base business
internal stuff." Gotcha. Let's have a look.
He just hands you to it. It's the Promenade organization or association has some business with you about infestation of space rats in food stores. Somebody else has been trying to get a maintenance crew to fix one of the rides. It's just basic, not complaints, but like, hey, we need help with this. Yeah, we need direct intervention.
I'll suggest solutions that are middle of the road for all of them. You know, let's hire somebody where we need to. Let's use our resources where we can.
Right.
Let's brighten up the place a little bit. I'd like to see more lighting in general.
The droid's taking this all down. He says one of the aspects of the request from the Promenade Association is they want to meet who they're paying money to in person sometime in the future, short future.
Tell them we've got that we can set a date for 30 days from now. And how long does it take us to get back to Goshi Base?
Probably a couple days.
I want to say it's just like 3 or 4 days. It's not very far.
Okay. I want to give us enough of a buffer to get the Ruurah things that she's looking for done, and tell them that that's tentative, and that if something comes up, we'll give you an updated time.
F7 says they'll probably be pleased with the repairs and everything being put forth, the solutions to their problems in the meantime. If they start getting fixed, they'll be able to wait a little longer without getting upset.
Great. Can you pen a mail to Haro as well and ask him if he can't drop by Goshi Base and have a look and update me on the current situation, and ask him if there's anything that he would be inspired about with that base? Because I want this to be a two-way, an enterprise that benefits him just as much as it does us when it comes to our association and the assets that we both have. So they'll write it up in a way that seems businesslike.
Okay, he's not an administrator or anything, so he would just be a guest coming in and sort of looking around, that sort of thing.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he says there's another request for a personal meeting with Melanie. She is one of the bounty hunters that you keep on payroll for other smaller sort of problems. She's very eager to talk to you on a personal note. So that's all he has on that. But that's just a heads up.
Okay. All right.
Lash asks if there has been any communication from the Hutts.
No, but he says Scoria generally swings through the system every month to check around, and since everything's been sold, he will probably will be coming in to meet you all and to make sure all the arrangements are still the same unless you modify them.
Okay. Give him my assurances that everything will be as they were before until we find reasons to modify the deal. And also express to him that he has an absolute welcome to our best facilities when he's in town.
Okay. Should I put down a tentative time that you will be on the station as a month from now? So everything sort of lines up.
I don't want to give an. Yeah, I don't want to give an a guess to a Hutt. I would rather be as precise as possible. So tell him that our expectation is that we'll be back in 30 days. But should we not meet that 30-day time, I would not want to inconvenience him. So we will let him know when we are back, and we will set a definite time because we would love to entertain him and bring him all of the what's the word that I'm looking for? The
hospitality.
Yeah, extend all the hospitality that we can humbly serve up to his greatness.
He says, I will also put in a note that we'll just keep him updated when we're on the way back within the next 30 days in case it's sooner. Yeah.
Okay.
He says, that's all I have for now. And he turns and
before we stop talking with them, Lash wants to tell them, hey, we may have some more people that we will give clearance codes to on some level to come in as associates of ours. There's a new shop that's going to be opening, as well as possibly increased level of security. We'll send over all the details for that, but make sure that you note that that's going to be happening.
Okay, he says he'll send notes out to the parties that will be affected, but he says it's probably best that you do so in person, especially for adding someone into a high security level. That would have to be done in his office or your office, he says.
This is mostly just for if we want to set up escort ships or like a patrol of whatever.
Right. Or set Haro up as a administrator or something like that where he can come in and go as he please or sees things.
Yeah.
But that all has to be done in person.
Changing the higher ups of an entire organization without doing it in person.
Yeah.
That's totally unreasonable.
Yeah, and I think we retconned that when you had Odant under mind control and were taking videos of him turning over assets, that he made a speech to the station that was projected on all the vid monitors saying that he was retiring and turning his assets over to the Aqua Minok Association, and then they gave Lady, what was your alias? Lady... Oh my
gosh. I don't remember.
Lady Martrice is now running things or in charge. The main daimo, I guess.
Is that right? You're in charge, eh? I like it.
That's the name you guys came up when you were dealing with the Tatari and everything.
He just volunteered to take care of the money. I think he's in charge.
Yes. Or she is, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, bio break. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sorry.
I guess we just the rest of the night goes by, then the morning comes, and you all get on the ship. Is there anything you wanted to take care of right before you left Bothwy? or in the 2.5 weeks, is there any purchases or anything you would have done with the ship or the speeders? The heuristic processor comes in that 2-week period to fix the HK droid or to upgrade him.
Yeah. And I guess if we're kind of skipping through that, yeah, crew would have spoken to him, and with Dodd there's like a speak freely kind of thing, like, do you want this? The other droids have it. Don't feel pressured. I'd probably bring Leto and F7 over to also like discuss it with him as a peer, because this is to a crew. This is another human being or living creature, because to a crew, you just get programmed, because that's what happened with him.
And Hakru keeps talking to him, and finally Leto slowly turns to you and he says, this is like telling someone that's never drank water how good water is. He just doesn't know. He's not understanding what benefits this upgrade will be. But I think he would like an upgrade. I don't think any droid would turn down an upgrade. Would you like an upgrade? And it stands there blankly looking forward and goes, affirmative.
Excellent. Okay. And then that's when we go through.
Leto slowly turns back to you. I told you, boss.
He goes, Leto, my friend, I understand. But like you said, it is an evasive procedure, and it is Ethiop E-word to make sure that they're okay with it.
I don't know.
The word he was searching for but does not know is ethical.
Oh. As long as he agrees to it, it should be fine. Like I said, it's like trying to describe the taste of water to someone who's never drank water before.
Are we on board, all of us?
Yes.
Or is
It's
yeah.
The heuristic processor came in the 2 weeks you guys have been doing this, and so this is a little cutscene as you're on board talking to the HK droid about upgrades, putting the processor in. So all the droids are staying there like in a committee.
Can I watch this?
Yeah, you're there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because he's introducing you to the HK droid, as the first time once the processor gets put in and all that, just to make sure everything imprints.
You've already done it, eh?
No, we are standing there and he's trying to get HK's permission, and HK doesn't understand what it is.
HK, what is the most important asset in any defensive planning?
Protecting the asset.
Pardon?
Protecting the assets.
Yes. And what method would you use to protect me in an open space?
I would clear out all enemies.
Good. And what method would you use to decide which enemy was the most dangerous at any given time?
The closest one.
Closest one. What if I told you that there was a way to decide with a greater alacrity what the best target would be? And what if I told you that my friend Hakru can grant you the ability to decide with more accuracy, more speed, and more intelligence?
An increase of efficiency would be fine.
Would that be fine or desirable?
Leto turns. I don't think he knows what you're talking about.
I'm used to that.
He's an on-off switch. Do you want the switch to turn on and off by himself? Then that's what he'll do once you put that in him. Before I had one, I didn't know what was going on. I just did my thing.
Will you give consent for an upgrade?
Affirmative.
There you go, Hakru. That's consent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leto says, he already said that. What are we dickering around with this stuff for?
I came in late. What can I say? All right, we ready to get this underway?
Well, we were
turns him
we were
around,
talking about what
puts
else
the
we
chip
were.
in, turns it on, and its eyes like go dim for a minute, and it comes back on, and it says, "Boss man."
I like this. I like this. Hooker, you do good work. HK, you do incredible work. I can see it.
Look at the way I'm built, of course.
All right. Hey,
Takes its gun
HK
out, spins it, puts it back in its holster,
hot damn. Okay.
moonwalks backwards.
HK, do you have a preference for what you're being called? Is HK still acceptable?
Ooh, gets to name himself. That is fine. Boss man.
All right. Sounds good.
He rolled,
Crew?
he rolled a 1 on his choice of
That's
names.
creativity check. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think
not quite there
S7
yet.
was given the same choice and rolled like a 4. It was just like, I'll stick with this.
Hooker, would you mind giving him some diagnostics? Make sure everything is up to snuff, and we'll be good to go. I'm going to check in with everybody else, and maybe we can get rolling. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Ruurah's
All right.
doing maintenance checks, finalizing some stuff on, gassing up the tank, all that good stuff.
In a couple weeks before this, she's kind of expanded the garden that's going on in the kitchen, added a few more Bothawi specific food
Beautiful.
plants and herbs and things.
Beautiful. So there's pots and stuff that are stuck in holes in the walls that are growing things out now, and the lighting's been upgraded in the kitchen, so at night it turns on real bright for growing plants and things like that. And
Ruurah, how much of this is edible?
all of it that she's put in is edible, except for that red plant in her room that is.
Right.
The vines are coming out now, just a few around the door, and little red flowers are.
They're edible.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'll keep my eye on that. If it looks like that's infringing on anybody else's territory, I'll ask her to
Not
try to
to name
contain
it any version of Audrey,
Yeah.
and we will.
Suddenly. Anyway, odd does not work in that song. Standing beside you.
And
Anyway.
in the last episode we just published, you were also singing that, so because we talked about the plant. Yep.
So good. I'm gonna have to switch musicals. So I try to defy gravity. Anyway,
So the ship slowly takes off. There's no more business on planet and takes off into space. She brings out the little chip and puts it in the nav computer, and a space map comes up and it shows the quadrant you're in, and it's literally the next one over. Not even a full day of
all
travel.
right. Best speed to wherever that is.
Ship goes into hyperspace. Anything in a couple hours you guys want to do?
I was going to say, Lash has just been continuing on with her Jedi training.
Yes.
And occasionally during these few weeks, she has some business meetings with her family while they get things set up. We'll work out the details of that later. I did have one question before we actually exited planet. Was there anybody else you wanted to throw into the mix that we might have met on Bothawai that would be important down the road while all this new business stuff is getting set up? Government officials or anybody like that you want to throw in there as a storytelling point?
Not really. Everything's just getting started. So everything's being done through proxy and paperwork. Since Hosk was the owner, you're not meeting with anything. You're just sort of, their family's taking over these assets. So they're sending people in to, like, they're changing management. They're putting new management people in and things like that. So at the moment, there's nothing to really meet with. The only thing that has been slightly not uncomfortable, but awkward is the Tig, the bounty hunter that was sent to get you, that apparently has had a crush on Lashara for many years. He went to graduated 2 years before her in high school and things like that. And he was one of the names your mom was trying to set you up with. And when you left, he left and went into bounty hunting or a scoundrel sort of life. So,
Godlike. Not really.
so when you show up and he's around, there's a very he long stares at you and he looks away when you look over and things like that. So it's cute on one level, and it's annoying on another because he's constantly looking at your butt.
I mentioned I offered that guy a job.
Yeah,
just
works with the family. He works with her family now as security for them. So
between the arranged marriages and all of these people constantly staring at my butt, I feel a little bit uncomfortable, especially since I'm picking up some things through my senses.
He does the Muppet thing where he looks over and looks ahead. But it's cute, and he's going to take care of your family because he has sort of a crush on you, and it's going to be that work harder for them to keep them safe for you sort of thing. So
nice.
Yeah,
he might be a good person to head up the security down the road for something,
Yeah. Hold out hope.
You're breaking up real bad, Mary.
Yeah. I don't know.
Try it again.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay. No, I was just saying, as long as you can keep him wrapped around your finger, you can trust him. But, so don't get married anytime soon.
There you go. As a Jedi, that might not be a problem. All right. There's no one official-wise. The council, they all sort of saw you and sitting up on this round dais. You didn't really get a good view of who they were. They're other business leaders that your father probably knows, but not well enough to have a party and invite them over just yet. Probably once he takes over that percentage of the 6% of the world income, then he'll start getting invited to things. It's like he got bumped up into that elite notch where he was just sort of just below it before.
Gotcha.
Ship takes off into hyperspace. Anything going on the ship, cleaning stuff. The ship has a very new car smell after they did the upgrades. They went through and cleaned everything with radiation, so there's no leftover skin cells and stuff. They really cleaned everything and painted stuff. So it's not quite a brand new ship, but everything looks really nice, polished.
So Ruurah, any idea what to expect when we get there?
I have literally no idea. I only know that these are coordinates. I don't know what's there.
Okay.
Expect the unexpected, Dodd. Have your weapons ready.
Starting to get used to that.
Yep.
I look at what's the pilot's name?
Nanat.
Nanat. I look at Nanat and I said, so what do you think?
He says,
ever heard of anything in this area?
He's tapping on one of the scopes and he says, these coordinates have a suffix to them that causes us to come out of hyperspace a little bit early. So we're coming out of hyperspace and the actual coordinates are over there. So I don't know. It could be a nebula. It could be some sort of interference. It could be outside of weapons range. I don't know. But
could be bouncing us real close to a supernova.
Could be. It just depends on where what we're heading into.
Gotcha.
But it's on the edge of. It would be on the edge of a system.
The Oort cloud, as it were. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
I'll be reading.
Yep.
I'll go back into the
Jedi training is okay. Jedi training is going well, better than it was before. When you were heading back, you were having problems concentrating because of your father and things like that. So it feels like everything's sort of cleared up, and you sort of, having gone through that little dip, it seems like you're on the upswing of figuring things out and learning stuff. It seems like it's coming. It's not easy, but it's becoming smoother.
Okay.
For Ruurah, the ship is nice to go around and see that everything's sort of the way it should be. Maybe the way the ship was, 100 years ago or more. The ship is really old. Jad, you're itching to try out your new E-web mounts that you've put in the floorboards. Was there anything else he had? That was the last thing you messed with, was the mounts and the E-Web. I don't remember.
Yeah, for Chad, that's it. That's it so far.
Oh, no, we plugged we have ports put in by both of those entranceways, so you just plug the E-Web into the power port.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that actual power pack has been installed in the ship.
So I don't have to mess with that or have an extra person. Yeah.
Right. Or a droid can mess with it while...
Or a droid, yeah.
So, did we do it with the ship's computer? Maybe the ship's computer is regulating that now.
I thought it was the ship's computer, but I
thought we turned it into like basically a one-man. Like he's got to spend like a round setting shit up.
Yeah.
But then after that, whichever door he sets up at, he's an extra cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as it's on the ship, you don't have to have someone regulate it. If you were to take it off ship, you just unplug the power unit. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And Hakru is playing the little space game with the little holographic creatures with the other two droids, or all three droids. 3 droids? Yeah. Wait, Leto? Yeah, with all 3 droids in one of the storerooms.
It's a 2v2 game. Probably F7 and I against Leto and HK.
Yep. HK is developing a very 1920s gangster, mafioso, hitman sort of feel to him.
Beautiful. I feel like it fits right in there with the very proper F7, the Bayou, Leto. This is great. These are all people out of time, which also kind of applies to a crew.
He eventually brings you a little pad with an item on it that he would like to add to his exterior, and it's a little bowler hat that he would like to put on.
HK does?
He has found, yeah. This is most appropriate for me to wear in the future. Can arrangements be made, boss man?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's hook it up. I like it.
He seems to walk out happier, if there is such a happy walk for a clanking large droid.
Hakru?
Jaunty HK.
Yeah.
He seems to be moving smoother too. He's moving smoother too. It's like he's been free.
As soon as HK is kind of out of earshot, I say, so, Hakru, how much personality did you give him?
I did not give him any personality. That was all already there. I just opened the door.
Right.
Cutscene to you walking into one of the storage bays later, and he's watching a little holovid of some gangster sort of video thing, and he's chuckling. Da, 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 da.
I'll sit down and watch it with him.
He scoots over and says, "Boss man."
What's up?
Okay,
and he points at it every once in a while. He points at it.
I found games and gambling. It's wisdom checks. The crew is absolutely going to be trying to win the game.
Against the droids? What are their things? Let's see. Against F7, his wisdom?
No, F7's on my team.
Oh,
so to be against Leto and HK.
Where's Leto at? He's on my other sheet. Where'd he go? Guess I didn't put him out there.
I rolled an 18.
Ooh. Hold on, let me get to Leto. And I guess this could happen at any time. There's just breaks out into...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just the course of the game. Yeah.
He got a 19. He rolled a 17. He's got a +2 modifier for his wisdom.
I rolled a 15. I got a +3. So, like...
He barely
it's a heated game. There's a reason. I'd imagine Leto and Hakru play this game a lot against each other, which is why it was split between the new guys with the old guys.
Yep. It's a fun game. It's close, but when he wins, he spins, does his thing. Yeehaw!
I will get you someday, my friend. I will get you. I'm closing the gap.
So this goes on for a couple hours. And the knot comes over the screen or the loudspeaker and says, we're coming up on the coordinates. We're getting ready to drop out of hyperspace.
All right.
Ruurah has stayed in the cockpit this whole time, just kind of like hanging out, watching space get closer.
Okay. And in the small talk that's happening between you and the knot, you're feeling like you're it's becoming more friendly, like you're getting to know each other, and his I don't think I didn't put a lot of background for him. I put nothing for him, so he tells you about growing up, and he's always wanted to fly a ship and all that stuff, and he tells you about meeting Hakru, how he got on his ship and tried to steal it, and he chuckles when he talks about it, which is a scary like ha 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 sort of laugh. But anybody else go up to the cockpit as they're rolling up Dodd?
Yep.
All right. He pulls out of hyperspace and stars come in, and there is a huge asteroid field in front of you. And
I look at
he types up some stuff, and he says it's somewhere over in that area.
I look at Ruurah. So Ruurah, what could possibly be in this?
I have no idea.
I could say this is not what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Nanat, what kind of course can we plot to get in there? Is it too tight?
It depends on how fast we want to go. If we want to go at a pretty slow speed, it shouldn't be that bad.
Are we in any kind of hurry?
He's close. He's coming up on it, and it's not quite the asteroids that you saw in Empire, where they're just like flying all over the place, doing crazy, chaotic stuff. But it's more like Jango Fett flying through the the rings
outside of the ocean planet. Yeah.
Was it the ocean planet, or was it where they had the arena and tied them up? And I can't think of the bugs. Geonosis. Yes, I think it's around Geonosis. But it's something like that. They're moving, but it's not quite as terrifyingly deadly. You can easily navigate through at a pretty good pace if you wanted. So as he pulls up, he says, we can manage this. It should be pretty easy.
All right. I punch the comm and I say, hey, Jad, maybe jump in a gun just in case we get a little close to one of these big rocks.
You thought I wasn't already there?
Double checking. What can I say?
Yeah. No, I've been watching everything.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's a good seat to have. You see the stars come undone and this huge asteroid field ahead.
Take us in, and I'm going to ping Lashara. Hey, Lashara, you want to help me out with some scans on in this area? I want to see what we could see before we get there. And I think
you hear some Bothan music playing in the background, and she turns down. She says, "Oh yeah, I'm on my way."
Smooth Bothan jazz.
Yeah.
Occur, please keep an eye on the power levels.
Yes, I can do this.
All right, thanks. All right, Nanat, let's bring it in.
All right. Let's see. Let me roll for him real quick. Yeah. He's just taking it kind of slow and swinging in and out of pretty large asteroids. The big ones aren't moving hardly at all. There's a few small ones that are going in and out, but as you're going deeper, closer to the coordinates, it's getting a little more crowded with these things. So he's having to do like big adjustments, slow the ship down to go around some of these. It's like you're moving through a maze at one point as he's getting closer, and he's kind of like, ooh, getting in. And eventually there is a larger asteroid up ahead, and he says the coordinates are pointing to that, but it's just a rock. He's
all right. Let's get some focus on some scans here. I know that the scanners are not like Star Trek, but scan for life signs. I've heard them do that in Star Wars.
R2's done it.
No life signs.
Yeah, he says we'll have to get in pretty close to do that.
Okay.
And he says we're picking up all kinds of small life signs all over this thing. He says,
communications?
He's not picking up anything.
Okay.
He says, I can go in closer and we can scan, a little better. right now you guys are just kind of like doing an orbital, thing around.
Staying kind of in proximity, but not.
Right.
Okay.
Is this asteroid big enough to land on? Is that like what kind of scale are we talking about?
Yeah, it's not a small moon. It's smaller than that, but it's pretty good size.
Okay.
So if there is a ship or something landed on this, it would take a while to visually scan for it or go around to map it all out. And he eventually gets to the point where we need to move in closer if we want to really get good scans of what's going on, and eventually starts going in closer.
Ruurah, your call. What do you want to do?
I mean, I want to know what's here.
Okay.
He eventually goes to miss an asteroid and kind of dives in and does a close skim of the surface, and all of a sudden you hear this bump, 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 bump on the hull as it's flying, and he's like, "What are we hitting?" Jad, can you look around behind us and see what's going on?
It looks like it's just a bunch of little rocks, I guess. I'm not sure.
Make a perception roll. Instead of bullshitting your way through. It looks like
Rocks? I don't know.
I'm sure
he's reading a book. He's like, it looks like nothing, boss.
Nothing, boss.
Stop bothering me. Click turns his perception roll.
I rolled a 19, but I'm pulling up my.
Yeah, it should be like a.
What I have 29.
Yeah. You look back and you're like, you see these things rolling off behind you, and then one sticks on the thing you're on. It's a Minoc. You are running into hundreds of thousands of Minocs as they're coming up off the planet because he's moving in too close, and they're hitting the bottom of the ship and then twirling off, and some are attaching.
Guys, it's a bunch of crying Minocs.
Nanot goes, "What? I thought you said they were rocks."
That's exactly what I said. Rocks sounds like crying Minocs, doesn't it? Rocks. I meant Minocs. Sorry.
He goes, "How many are we talking about?" Boom, 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 boom.
Too many to count.
Are they sticking to the ship? Because that's going to be a problem.
A couple here, maybe more than a couple.
It's fine.
Exactly.
These things chew on the power cables, don't they? They're not.
Right.
Yeah, we got
do they? I don't know. Somebody with natural life sciences would have to roll that.
Oh, I got that. I
I do not.
Yeah. How about that?
Do I know?
Do
I know what a
Minoc
Minoc is?
Where she rolls a 1. No, they're good luck.
No, she rolled an 18, so that's
There
a
you go.
27.
They chew on power lines. Like, I hate them. I hate those things.
Oh.
I hate them.
Yeah, no, we need to get out of here, and if they're already attaching to the ship, we might need to find somewhere safe to land and get them off.
Just a quick side note, guys. Hey, my old pirate ship was named Crying Minoc, and the reason we named it Minoc because we were pirates and we'd leech onto other ships and steal their stuff. Just FYI.
They're not. Go.
We just got this ship back together.
Yep.
Do shields do anything to stop them from getting to the ship? No. Okay.
They're the shields are for like energy based weapons.
Yeah. What's close?
Well, he says there are
The
some other
asteroids.
asteroids. It seems like they're on we didn't run into any on the smaller ones out here, so we could just land real quick and get them off.
Okay.
But yeah. Let's do one more pass. It should take him a while to get on. How long does it take him to start chewing into things?
I give him an answer.
Like 2 hours. It takes 2 hours for them to start burrowing in and to actually do any damage. He says, we got some time, then let's do another fly around, see if we could find out what's out here. About an hour goes by, and he's like, what is that? And he points, and everyone kind of looks, and he stops the ship, and it's like It looks like part of the surface, but there is a divot underneath. And it looks like it's just nothing. It looks like it's just a cup. But when you guys fly down, he stops and starts moving in slowly. And it opens up. He like skirts the top of this. And inside is a landing bay. It's not huge. It's just enough for probably 2 ships side by side to go into. But it's all dark. There's no lights on or anything. But it's all prefabbed inside from what you're seeing. And he flips on the lights and it lights up, and it's a landing bay.
Are there tons and tons of Minox in there?
They are not inside. There's a couple that are kind of like flying up and landing on the ship as you guys are pulling into the docking bay. But
Okay.
once you do enter like the force field, they start taking off outside.
Okay, something they don't like about the force field, or
So Lash,
Ruurah, with that high roll, she goes, they don't like atmosphere. They are silicon-based. Oxygen freaks them out. It hurts them, so I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
all right, guys. Seems like it's time to load up. Let's see what's in here. I go back and get my heavy blaster and strap it on.
Ruurah starts flipping like whatever sensors we have that are like,
Okay.
so
You guys are
there's
still-
air here. Is it perfectly breathable? Like
Yeah.
what's going on? That's
You guys are still hovering above the thing, and as the lights are going down, it looks like there's another exit on the other side. Like it's a fly through, like you can land and then fly off, so there's no turning around or anything like that. It's set up for maybe quick docking and quick leaving.
And the bay itself is otherwise empty. Like we don't see any ships
No,
parked or anything.
no, but it's big enough to hold about 4 or 5 ships. You could put like 6 or 7 real tight, but yeah.
Lash is going to reach out. So she's doing her scan. She's up there on the scanner. I can roll to see if I pick up anything, but I also want to like use the force and reach out with the force and see if she can sense anything here.
Okay. Give us a use the force roll.
8 plus 17. It's 25.
Okay. You extend your feelings out, and the only thing you're getting is the Minox, and they are all over this asteroid. It's almost like they are a natural deterrent for ships to get in too close. But they're all over outside. Like they're like almost a skin. Throughout the galaxy, yeah, air. They can't do air. So anything outside or doesn't have oxygen, they're good. But otherwise, they are nasty.
So Lash tells Dot and Ruurah, everyone in the cockpit, she's like, I don't see anything really coming up on the scanners, and I'm not sensing anybody around through the force. Just all these Minox, and there's a lot of them.
Well, why don't we go see what's going on?
Jad is already on the
ramp.
On the platform with his blasters out, ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, I imagine a crew is like right next to him.
Okay. Do you want to lower the ramp while you're hovering up and take a
Yeah,
look?
if we're not going too fast with the atmosphere and everything.
No,
yeah.
he's hovering inside the hangar bay. And kind of doing this like slow turnaround with the lights on. It looks like there's cutouts for like a communications area, like a where they're talking to ships and stuff, and all kinds of like cubby holes and hallways and stuff in this place.
Is there computers and stuff in them? Like, are they?
Yeah, this is all prefabbed. It's got plasticine all on the inside. One corner that's kind of divoted in looks like it's got partial ships. It's like a mechanics bay, like a little small junkyard that has parts in it for repairs and things like that.
Flips on like communications and sends out like standard hailing frequencies.
Okay, perception roll. Everybody who's in the cockpit or on the landing pad, the landing ramp rolls down, and you guys are all like looking around.
19.
27.
Anything 20 and over, you notice up in the area which looks like it's a control bridge or a control area for monitoring ships and stuff. There's a red light that's going on. The room's dark, so you're seeing this flashing light that is your signal being received.
But no one apparently there to answer.
No, the lights are off in all this place.
So this smells like a pirate base to me. I don't know about you guys.
I might have failed to mention that my uncle was probably relatively pirate.
Oh, well,
you knew he was.
I know. I just
she's soft selling it.
Yes.
Well, that makes things interesting.
No.
Do you know the current status of your uncle? Is he around?
He's
no,
dead.
I told you he died.
Oh, forgive me. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Like I said, we would be off of Jed's ship. Like I was myself and whatever you managed to haul into the cargo bay is all that's left.
Yeah. Jed took the bodies and ejected them out of a cargo bay.
They were dead.
Ships. Yeah, they were all dead.
The ships ran each other, so it was lots of carnage.
Okay, well I'll follow your lead. What do you want to do here?
Jad's gonna start shooting anything he can see.
There's nothing.
I got a feeling there's nobody here.
No, the Minox.
They left.
Oh, they're all gone?
There's
I thought
air.
a few of them. I thought a few of them stayed on.
What happens
okay.
in an atmosphere is they take damage like you would in a vacuum of space. So they took off as soon as they hit that force field with atmosphere.
I thought most of them took off, but there were still a couple attached.
No.
Okay.
If not, they're falling off now because they're dead.
All right.
The ship lands. Doom. And he's like, Donat says, I'll keep the engines hot just in case. But you guys got you pointed out the exit on the other side.
Gotcha. Yeah, as soon as the ship touched down, Ruurah is up out of her seat in the cockpit and headed down to the...
Okay. Yeah, the atmosphere smells a little stale, but it is breathable. It's like whatever may have been cycling the air went into like a power save mode since no one was around.
Since Jad was on the ramp, he's going to jump off and like do a quick perimeter check.
Okay.
If Jad goes left, Hakru will go right.
Okay.
Ruurah just kind of wanders out.
Okay.
Like she'll be a little bit farther behind because you guys were already on the ramp, but she's just gonna wander out.
Okay. Who else is wandering around, or who's staying on the ship?
Lash is going to head towards that bridge section, the control station.
Okay.
I'm following following Ruurah around because I'm curious as to what it is that she's going to find here.
Ruurah, make a perception roll as you're walking around.
$24.
You begin to pick up the smell of what was his name? Oh shoot.
Ruurah, yeah.
Ruurah. You begin to smell traces of him around, like whatever his smell was. It's like his clone. It's his natural smell. And you start following around, and you head off into a set of hallways, and it looks like it's all quarters. And as you're walking around, you're counting like this could house like 20 full sets of quarters. You're opening the doors, and these things are pretty spacious. It's like they were set up for larger groups of people to be in, and they're actually in that were using them. And eventually, you get to one that is who's going with Dodd. So you guys are walking around, open up these doors, and it's all dark. When you guys open up a door, a light comes on automatically, and it's just quarters. And they've been used, I wouldn't say too recently, but they've been lived in. A lot of junk, a lot of like souvenirs and stuff hanging around. Some people have spray painted the walls, that sort of stuff. Eventually, you get around to one room and you open up, and it just hits you, Ruurah, that this is Roth's room. And you start walking around and looking, and there's pictures of him and your aunt, like together and on a beach and having dinner, that sort of thing, laughing, and it kind of starts choking you up a little bit. Chad, yeah, it's you're kind of looking around and you hear her not growl, but do a weird. It's just a weird cat noise that you're not sure what it is, like a.
Okay.
We cut to Chad is walking around. Perception roll.
24.
24. You see, you're walking around with your blaster out in like a little light, looking around, and you come upon two gonk droids, power droids, sitting in a corner, and they're plugged into a wall, and their lights are all off. They're sitting back in this mechanics area, which has got lots of junk and things like work tables and benches and like an engine sitting up and suspended from the ceiling and things like that. It looks like they, when they were here, and when they went out pirating, everybody went.
Never came back. All
obviously.
Right. Yeah. So I'm gonna yell over to Hakroo and say, "Hey, you might be a couple droids for you here."
Wherever Hakroo is on his sweep, he moves over.
Yep. Hakroo walks into a medical bay, like a full-on two back to tank medical bay, and it's all been left, but it's still workable. Like the lights were on low, the power was on low to keep everything sort of going. So when you walk in, the lights rise up. But it's all very pristine in here and very sterile. It's unlike the rest of the place. It's very clean.
I'll trade you. You may want to come and look if there's anything we can use here. It looks all like a medicine doctor stuff.
I don't know anything about that, but sure.
You guys are hearing this as Lash is walking into it looks like a command room, communications, and it's not. They don't have radar, but they have mild, like passive sensors on the outside. And it looks like when you start powering up some of this stuff in here, that there is some issues with the power cables on the outside that are running on the outside of the asteroid. They've been damaged and probably need to be replaced. But you're able to still pick up signals nearby.
Is there a central computer unit of some type where she can pull up a map of the facility?
Yep. It's pretty easy to do. You type it in and it comes up. This place is pretty good size. And you're seeing crew for like 20. There's a hydroponics bay. There's a mechanics bay. The power core is on standby. It's just waiting to be turned on. There's like a flashing like turn on switch. It's slowly like glowing and going and closing down. There's a galley, med bay, and some other stuff around.
She gets Dodd on the comms and says, "I'm kicking the power back up to full to help in the search. Do you want me to establish a link with the Ripper and download some of these files, find out what they were doing here?"
Can we put them on physical media so that we don't have a direct connection? Just in case this is a pirate haven, I think. So, I'd be mindful of any kind of traps.
Good idea. So she sees if she can get her data stick and or even just navigate around and see what she can make out of what they were doing, what kind of logs they might have kept, or last time they were here.
Yep. Power starts to come up on all the hallways. Lights come on. The bay itself, these huge lights turn on, and the place is very well illuminated for detailed mechanical work in that bay, in the landing area. med bay comes full online. Like tubes and jars of things start bubbling again. The galley comes online, and there's some bots there that are waiting to make food. The power droids, like their eyes start to glow again. The place has not been used since several months. And so if you're tracking a timeline, this lines up to just before Jad and Ruurah ran into each other, literally. It's about that time. And that the ships that were docked here, this was the Shalou and the, I just had it up. Crap. Hang on. The Moss Goth. And it shows their ships and what they look like and how many times they've been refueled and parts they needed. Requests for parts. There's a slight inventory of stuff they have here that is available for repairs. It looks like there's a double turbo laser light military that needs to be rebuilt, but the parts are all here. A sensor array that needs to be rebuilt, and atmospheric thrusters that also need to be rebuilt, but the parts are all here for that, just in case.
Okay.
And it looks like they have 2 Bacta tanks, but there's only enough Bacta to fill up one completely. But you could siphon off some of it to be put into like temporary like spray units and things like that for small wounds. And it looks like
so she gets on the comms and just kind of goes over this list with everyone as they're searching around, kind of giving them a heads up of what they're coming across. And what we might find useful.
Yep.
So Dodd is gonna
go ahead.
Based on what you're saying, he's going to seem more and more interested and excited about those things until he reaches a point where he stops and looks at Ruurah and says, "Ruurah, this is your family's stuff. I don't feel comfortable just taking stuff. Why don't you tell me what you think before we go any further here?"
I don't know. I mean, what's here? This isn't something that I can take back to my family, but if we can find, I don't know, maybe we can use it, maybe we can.
Do you need a few minutes to sort this out? This is all pretty heavy stuff.
She's holding on to a little tiny stuffed Togorian that has a little necklace that says Ruurah on it that he had on his shelf. Yeah.
Okay. I'm noticing this and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go help I'm gonna go help the rest of the guys. Why don't you just ping me when you want to talk about what we want to do. For now, we'll just catalog everything and put everything in places where we can pick it up easy if that's what we decide to do. Is that fair?
She reaches out and picks up a picture, and it's of her sitting next to him, and he's like got his camera like, and snuck a picture of him sitting next to her. She's like eating a chip and not paying attention. So it's a lot of that sort of stuff.
Like slowly sits down on like the bed or whatever is nearby, and it doesn't really respond.
Yeah, the relationship you thought you had with your aunt's boyfriend, it seemed like he was ready to be uncle. Like he already thought of himself as uncle. So
all right, I will exit the cabin.
Yeah. It closes with her sitting on the bed looking at some more stuff, and doors closed.
Then I'm going to shoot the lock. Good luck getting out of there. We got stuff.
Vent into space. No, this place is all it's all inside rock. So this place is shielded. It would take a lot to damage this gigantic asteroid. It's a very secure thing. And it took him, Nana a roll of like 35 to find the entrance. Just naturally flying around. So this thing is hidden well.
He's so useful to us in the long run. Okay, so
Losh
I'm gonna
also
go
pulls
where-
up a maintenance schedule that was very active of them having to repair the any sort of infrastructure on the outside because of the Minox, but they just sort of racked it up to, we just have to replace this line at this time, and it was just like a cycle of eventually get back around to having to replace that again in 6 months and stuff like that. So they were using the Minox as a very defensive, keeping people away from this place. Like no one was landing on this asteroid unless they knew what they were doing. So they were feeding them basically.
I was going to say they were feeding them. Yeah.
Yeah, the power core for this place is 3 times what it should be for this size base.
That's interesting. Let's find out where that electric is going to.
It's the Minox.
I'm gonna. Oh,
They were feeding Minox. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. which would make for. I mean, that's just a clever extra shield, right? And
deterrent.
And what do they call it? Yeah, deterrent.
So Lash gets on the comm with Ruurah and says, "Hey, Ruurah, I just came across some files here that I'm not going to open unless you want me to, but it seems to be manifests for the 2 ships and their communications frequencies that they use. Is that something that you want to know about?"
Yeah. Give me a second, and I'll be up on where you are.
Right.
And she, you can see like nobody's there right now, but camera in on her. She like finds, I don't know, the equivalent of a shoebox, like a small crate. It's Star Wars, whatever.
Yeah.
And starts taking some of the pictures off the walls, the little things that like are clearly like mementos of family.
Yeah. You keep running across pictures of other pirates that he was with, and there's one in particular that he's always like hanging out with and drinking with and playing cards with and goofing around, that sort of stuff. You don't know what his name was. He so, but the face, you keep seeing the face over and over and over and over again.
She packs up a small box of.
Yeah.
It's not everything. It's just whatever she sees.
Right. He may have been on the other ship the whole time. So.
And then she closes that up and with it in arm, like heads up to the communications deck.
You get up there and you find that there is a directory list of all of the people, and they all have a very coded frequency they use to communicate with loved ones or another space. Most of them are on your home planet, and one is Ruurah's, your aunt's.
Mira.
Yeah. And it goes directly to her residence on a very specific device that uncodes it for her. But it's all the communications out here are masked in a way that look like background radiation almost. So it's like a coded thing, and then the device on the other end uncodes it. So the communication would take a long time. It would be one way, that sort of thing.
Right.
So Lash looks at Ruurah and says, "Hey, I can tell that you're hurting, but if you don't mind, the ship that you were on that encountered Jad, I'm just assuming it's one of these 2 ships. Is that right?"
They were both. It was. Yes, I was on the Moscow.
You were on the Shalu, I believe.
Was I?
Yeah, the Moskoth was the one that got knocked out of battle first.
Gotcha.
And
They didn't end up
Krang Monarch.
Did you ever say?
The Moskoth was not. The last time they saw it, it was listing dead in space, and then the Krang Monarch jammed into the Shalu. Yeah, and they became one sort of clump of ship.
Right.
Do we want to try to reach out to that other ship? Maybe find out what happened to them? Or is this somewhere we don't really want to be, a tree that we don't want to climb,
I don't know. the fact that they haven't been back here might mean that they didn't survive after all.
Could they have survived in deep space this long?
That's been a while.
Possibly. Depends on what they had on the ship.
I'll jump in and say, maybe we should go look for them.
I mean, is there anything here that would give us the status of the ship without direct communication?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think that.
And you don't know where they were at.
Right.
Yeah, you weren't watching coordinates. Jad, unfortunately, was in jail.
I was in jail,
I just stowed away,
So whatever happened, it's sort of both of you have a blind spot of where the ship would have been when they encountered each other. It's probably on a tradeway, but the tradeways you have to do sublight. It's scan.
Is there any communications that we have here that could contact anyone if anyone from that ship has turned up anywhere? Is there a way to reach out to them? Because I'm assuming you want to know the story, and I don't know what other avenue we have to learn what happened.
Yeah, you can send a communique using those frequencies to everybody that had a loved one they were communicating with, and just ping them and see if they've heard from anybody, I guess.
I mean, we could. Yeah, the thing that bothers me about that, because I don't want to, that's her first thought. She's like, oh, I can send a message to my aunt, but I don't want to send a message on this channel when the person who should be sending it is gone. So I wouldn't want to do that to anyone else either. No, if what I really want to do is go back home and be able to talk to people.
And where is home?
Tagoria. I don't remember. That's why I was trying to look on the map. I thought it was.
It's not that far.
I don't think it's too far away from Bakuya, but I don't remember.
Is Tagoria in the wiki? Because I may have put a map.
I thought it was on the map on Upstream Portal.
Should be. P9. Just in case we wanted to look it up.
Yeah. So it's a couple sectors away. P9. It's north of us. Oh, it's quite a ways away. But there it is. Yeah. Oh, very close to Hades. Interesting. So it's out of the way, which is why. But Ruurah says that I need to go home anyway. I need to give this stuff to my aunt. I need to talk to her over more than a voice communication.
All right, let's do it. Let's give it a couple of hours. Let's get a list of everything that we think is vital or useful here. And then, Ruurah, if you wouldn't mind, look over that list to tell us what you don't mind us taking with us. And we'll load those things up. We'll use the droids in our own backs where we can. And then I'd like to make sure this place remains obscured. If it is,
we should lock it down a little bit more than it was. It doesn't look like when they left last time they thought they'd be gone for very long.
Right.
Everything was kind of insecure and open to whoever popped in, like us.
Okay.
I'm trying to find. One, two, three, four, five.
It's just north of the Sheik.
It's like 6 days away.
Yeah. Oh yeah, where we actually are.
Yeah. Go ahead.
One of the things that she will look up, or will look for specifically, is if there's like a manifest of the actual pirates, a list of names.
Okay.
Because she'll want to, let anybody know who needs to know.
Yeah. And you have coordinates to all the family members on planet or off on another planet for all the communications. So it'd be easy to track everybody down, get out into space, come out of hyperspace, and send a wave out to everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because I know that everybody on the Chalou died, and we will be.
Yeah, there were 19 on 19 on the Moskoth and 15 on the Chalou. So
I don't know. Well, maybe we should wait until we get out of the base. But I feel like the only way to find out for sure is to like send the communications to the Moskoth to see where they are, if anybody responds.
Is that a good idea? I mean, we're talking pirates here. Do you know these people?
I mean, a lot of my people are pirates. It's kind of a business, but
you don't really know anybody on that other ship that was in and out. Yeah. So, and you don't know if they would respond, being a pirate, if they were being contacted by somebody, an incoming wave. Maybe the family is the best way to send one of them and then have them contact back and say what's going on. Sort of
that's kind of we might as well get in touch. Well, and that's the other thing too, is if we get in touch with the families, then if anybody has heard from, they would have gotten in touch with their own families if they were still able to.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can work on starting to secure the computer systems and power systems here.
Yep. Anybody else still searching through the base? Looking around?
I think I'm just trying to figure out how to potentially drain some of the back to take it with us, if we can.
Yeah. You could eventually get... Go ahead.
I was going to say, the one thing I would ask Lash to be careful of is that if that other ship is still out there, please don't make it so that they can't get back here.
All right. I can figure something out.
But it's been about 6 months at least since they've been here.
Yeah.
I know, but I would hate for them to be in a spot where they can't, get here if they need to.
Yep. Okay. Fair game.
We can leave it like we found it, but it seems like a pretty big asset to fall into someone else's hands if it's not secure in some way.
Yeah, but we would never have found this even if we were looking for it if we didn't have the coordinates.
It's a big galaxy.
Space is very big. And once they get here, unless they know what they're looking for, they're never going to find this place. And the Minox...
No.
Yeah, the Minox would keep people away anyway. So...
We found it in the 6 months since they haven't been here.
Yeah.
It can wait another couple weeks while we make sure that there isn't anybody going to be coming back for it.
All right.
Jad, make a perception roll. You're looking for containers to carry the back out, and you're kind of wandering around. You're not finding anything out. The kitchen doesn't have anything big enough.
12.
Altogether?
Yeah. I rolled a 2, yeah.
Phew. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking around. The galley does not have...
trying to take it out in my hands.
Yeah, the galley does not have what you're looking for, and neither did the mechanics area. You even went into hydroponics. You thought there'd be something, similar to a tank, and you're like, nope, you're not finding anything. So make another roll.
19 that time.
Okay. It takes an hour. An hour later, he's like, maybe there's something in the crew quarters, and starts going in there, a coffee pot or something, and starts looking around and searching, and finally opens up one of these, and there's a bed. It's very Spartan in here, and up against the wall, it looks like a locker / sarcophagus almost, that has a strange symbol that looks like a horned creature. on it. And
do I recognize said symbol?
I don't know, would you?
No, I don't know. I guess I better roll. What are we rolling here? Perception?
Probably like a knowledge skill for races or things, or knowledge life, or knowledge...
Galactic knowledge, maybe?
Galactic knowledge, yeah.
Okay. All right, then 19.
19. The symbol looks like a... oh, shit, now I gotta look it up. It is a creature found on a specific planet, and that is Mandalore.
Oh my lordy! So Jad's wheels are spinning. He's like, I think I recognize this as Mandalore.
Yeah.
He's gonna look around for anything.
So that's Mythosaur.
Trying to open this thing up.
It's a Mythosaur.
He's gonna try to. Yeah, he's gonna try to open this thing up.
This thing it's got a weird door system, and it's got a place for, it looks like something that would insert into it, and there's no gears or no holes. And the metal on this has got a weird rippling, like layered and cut off and layered. Looks like Damascus steel, basically. And the whole thing is huge. So either there's a body in there, or there's a lot of stuff in there that would fill this sarcophagus, I guess.
Shoot the box, see if the blaster bolt bounces off of it. I'm just kidding.
Don't say that to Chad.
You do remember there's a laser welder. You saw a laser welder out in the mechanics area.
Oh, did I see a laser welder? Well, I'm going to go out and get that laser welder, and I'm going to come back in and try.
You guys are in the communications. You're in the communications thing. It's got this big window that faces the bay, and you see him running across. He's got a laser as he's running across.
I just rolled my perception to see if I knew what the hell he's up to.
You found something.
I got a 12, so I have no idea.
12. He found something. You don't know what it is.
But
he's got a laser cutter, and he's running. He's running toward the crew quarters.
All right, here we go. I'm on my way. Hey, Dad, what are you doing there, buddy?
Don't worry about it.
You see the back of him as he goes around a corner.
Oh, not worried. I just don't want to miss out on the fun.
You're jogging now to keep up.
Right.
He turns around and looks at you with a torch in his hand, like, nothing. Yeah. Move along. Nothing to see here.
Nothing. And if you come with me, whatever you see is mine.
Let's see what happens. Okay.
You go into this room, and it's very Spartan. There's no decorations. There's no clothing, really. There's like a thin sheet folded at the bottom of bed with a pillow. It's like
Is this one of the rooms that Ruurah and I looked at before?
Yes, you guys popped in, but the lights were off. They kind of dimly rose up, but you didn't really get a good look because it looked like it was empty almost, like it was preparing. It was empty for another person to come in and use. But now that the lights are up, you see in the back corner there's this big sarcophagus-looking box or crate.
Oh, that's not creepy.
Made out of a very well. Do you have any knowledge, skill, minerals, or life?
Yeah. Psychology.
Okay, yeah.
I know psychology.
And you're like looking at this thing. He turns on the laser welder, and it's got a laser. Well, yeah, it comes out quite a bit. And when he puts it up to it, it starts sparking, and the laser looks like it's being reflected off to the side. So the more he puts in, the larger the laser gets. And he takes it off and looks at it, and it's not even left a mark on it. It's not even warm.
I'm just going to keep at the laser and then notice it not going and just start banging the thing on it.
The laser breaks.
Makes a cool pinging sound.
Yep.
Ping.
Yep.
What do you got here, Jad?
Well, I think I know, but I don't know. You think Ruurah would be okay if we took this with us?
I don't know. We can ask her. I say, kind of suggestively. Well, let's see what the lock looks like.
Yeah.
So I go to look at the lock.
Weird offset door with a line that comes down. In the middle, it's got an insert for a medallion or something that would go into it.
Okay.
But other than that, there is no locking system. It doesn't like have prongs that set into it. There's no way to see how
No
or why it
keyway
opens.
or anything.
After the laser
No.
doesn't work, Jad is going to frantically search the room for anything that might look like that.
Perception roll.
Well, while he's doing that, no electronics in it at all, huh? It's completely mechanical, most likely.
You can't scan into it.
Okay.
Any sort of scanning gets reflected. Any energy going toward it gets reflected out.
23 on perception.
You there's a shoebox in there. You open it up, and there's nothing but like toiletries. Like whoever lived in this room, like, was extremely military. You recognize it from other people. You're not a soldier, but from other soldiers you've met in your life. Like there's nothing in this, but like it's a place to sleep. So apparently, this was very important to whoever was here.
So it'd be a mechanics roll to try to understand the lock, because there's no lock picking skill or anything like that.
Yeah, this thing, you can't figure it out. Whatever goes in there looks like that's the only thing that will trigger whatever opens it somehow.
Yeah, I got a 22 for the lock thing, and
You're running your hand over it, you're like, this steel is something I've never seen before. I've never seen this metal before. It's beautiful.
I got
It's
one edge of
ripples.
it. The sarcophagus thing. Did you say it was standing up or like lying on it?
Standing up, yeah.
Standing up. I'm going to go to the corner where the wall, where it's leaning up against. Is it leaning against the wall, or is it just standing straight up?
Set up against. Yeah, it's standing straight up. It's a rectangle.
Okay. Then I'm going to push on one section of it and see if I can get it to tilt.
It is probably 2 tons or more.
So no, that's not that strong. Okay.
It was so Jad.
So after my anime moment,
After watching this, Jad is running through his head like, how can I find some kind of repulsor lift to attach to this thing? I got to take it with me.
That would be difficult.
we do have some droids.
You don't know how they got in here. You see there's some scrape marks. So whatever they were using was overloaded almost. If they had it on a lift, it was scratched the floor getting in here.
What was it we said earlier? Everything floats with the repulsor coils? Anyway.
Got to get it under there.
Okay.
Where's our Wookiee?
Yeah, right.
We're going to be real close to the Kashyyyk.
Are we?
Yeah.
Hire a Wookiee. A Wookiee valet.
1-800-HIRE.
Jad's wheels are spinning, and he's like, I think maybe we need to go back and find the crying Minok.
Yeah. Let's get
maybe there's a medallion, and I could find it.
You took everything off that ship, and
so it's in our cargo bay.
Could be. You don't remember seeing a medallion made out of this metal.
Okay.
But it's more likely in one of the other 2 ships, right?
Well, the other ship, possibly.
Or the other ship.
Yeah.
Well, we're on a mission to find that, most likely. So,
Yep.
all right. Well, when we get back, let's have a look through the stuff that we've brought on board from the other ship.
Okay.
Dot.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody about this.
Cargo bay gets in the ship.
I'll tell you what.
Stuff.
I'll keep it quiet until we discover more about it. How's that sound? Then we'll make a decision. I promise that I won't say anything until we discover more, and then we'll make a decision.
Okay.
A 20-80 split.
If it, out of character, if it's what I think it is, I don't want it anyway. But
it's a dead body. Who would want a dead body?
Right. Jed sure would look pretty cool in, Mandalore the Second's gear. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. And they'd have to add a thing to the beak, but finding somebody that can mold Beskar, that can't be that bad.
Not in this time frame.
We could probably find Cortosis that does the same thing, right?
Yeah.
The key is making sure they won't kill you in the process.
I was going to say, whatever's in that crate comes with some serious baggage.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
Jad's ready for it.
The kind of person that cares about that. I don't think so. So, anyway, like I said, let's find out more about this, and then we'll make a decision. Meanwhile, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Okay. Anybody else?
All right, Ruurah, you've got a plan.
Quietly walking around the place, taking stock.
Well, no, I'd say
or
like
you're sitting with the gonk droids. Gonk gonk.
Yeah, I went over to the gonk
Yes.
droids. I
Yes.
checked them out. If they're powered down,
Nope.
a crew would probably power them up.
When the lights came up, they powered up. They were on low mode. It's not power save. You speak binary? You speak binary.
Yeah, he does.
They say hello. How may we serve you?
Hello,
New friends.
What is this place?
One of them stops and kind of looks around. It says home.
That's what I would have said too.
Does home have a destination like Bathui or
designation?
Let me see. Let me find it.
The hard questions.
I know.
I want you to name 7 other things while we're here, by the way.
Okay, asking the name of the station we have landed in is one thing. Is not the same thing as asking random shopkeep about his 3rd child.
I'm just trying to make things harder for Kirk. That's all.
That's all right.
Anyway, yeah, whatever. It's all right. So Dodd finds himself outside of a spaceship. I don't know how that.
Go look for that ship on your own. Start paddling.
He touched my coffin.
Minox.
Yeah, right a Minox.
Oh shoot! They called it Honey Station. Honi.
Oh, great.
Honey Station.
Honey station.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good to know.
Oh, it's not what I'm looking for.
Do you have records from when you were last awake?
No, neither one do.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take you to someone who is related to someone who used to live and or work here. Is that okay with you? We won't leave your home. We are just going to another room.
Do they need power?
They might. They are up in the bridge room. As I understand, that is where most of the power is located, and they are running systems up there.
One of them starts to walk forward and stops like it's waiting for you to lead. And the other one just stays in the spot.
Okay, you wait here, my friend. You, my friend, let us go. What is your designation?
All right.
Now this is where I'm being an asshole.
Yeah.
They are gunk and gank.
Let's see.
BK242.
3YA is one. And the other one is 2W40 or 40.
Okay, 3 Yas coming with us.
Okay.
So yeah, I just start telling them about Ruurah, and it's like yes, my friend Ruurah. Her uncle. I don't know if he ran the place, but I am assured that he was a very important person. And I'm sure she would love to both meet you and get any aid she can from you.
I have much power.
Oh, you are a mighty little boy. Let us go.
Like a class 1 droid, I guess.
Yeah. Really basic.
Do you speak Bachi?
It can barely speak. Yeah, it's low on skills. I don't want to do it.
Oh yeah. No, I've looked at gunk droids before.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't have the stats of a gonk droid, but I imagine it's very.
if HK was like talking to a wall, this is like talking to a brick inside of the wall, explaining that it's part of a wall.
Yeah. Just he keeps talking about power. Do they need power? I am at 100% efficiency or capacity. 99.8.
And the whole time, her crew is just hyping him up
Yeah.
as he takes him up to Ruurah.
Let's see. Oh, I just had the map. What do I do with it? Yeah. So it takes forever. The gonk droid literally goes gonk, gonk, And you're just like taking shuffling little steps.
This is why, because like I imagine this conversation like happened like immediately when the power came on, and during this whole time of the Scooby-Doo gang running back and forth, trying to cut things open, the crew is just walking along with this droid, just rambling all kinds of nonsense, telling about the adventures we've gone on.
Yeah, exactly.
A crew makes a friend.
Yeah. Yep. He's a little dry. He's not talking a whole lot. But, well, that's Goshi base. I don't think I even put it in. Nope, it's just called the base. All right. Yeah, it's pretty dry conversation. Even for a crew, you're like, this guy needs more vocabulary. Like, he's just talking about the same. He's very concerned about power. All right. So, yeah. And you guys in the cockpit, in the communications area, if you wanted to download anything, crew manifests and things like that are all available. The ship, the status, transponder ping. Yes, but you're not sure if they're correct for the ship or if it's like what you have, where you have a changeable one.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to put that all onto a data stick.
Okay. All right. Anything else you guys want to do on here before you leave?
Well, like a crew, like I say, gets up there, sees Ruurah sitting in like the chair with the stuffed animal, and just kind of does that gentle, like he's going to kind of like come in not knowing what's going on, and we're going to see how long it takes the crew to realize, oh, this was a moment.
Yeah. All right. Full medical. Turbo lasers. Yeah, Mary, when you're up there, you start seeing all of the ship components that are in that pile of junk over there. And it looks like there was at least 2 mechanics that were working on stuff most of the time.
Okay. Yeah, that was the only thing, like, clearly before Haku gets there, but, like, she was, before we leave, the only thing she was planning on doing was going to go take a poke through that pile of stuff, just because reading a manifest and going and looking at it are two very different things.
So about halfway, you meet Haku and his gonk droid, which he's just yammering to, and the gonk droid is every once in a while says, repeats out what its power level is at as it's walking.
Oh, yes, Ruurah. I found one of the droids that is of residence here. I thought he might have logs or something to relay to you about your uncle and his time here, but over our stroll, I don't believe that's going to be rich. Oh, parts! He has power. We can turn them on. He is very insistent about his power. He is mighty.
You know what? Yes, let's go see what parts there are, and I'm sure it'll be fine.
So you guys start walking over there. The droid is taking forever, and Haku is staying back with him.
Waiting for
You get over there and start digging through stuff, and you're like, whoever was running this junk pile knew what they were doing. Like, this is set up. This has got a lot of good stuff in here.
Would Ruurah still have the plushie?
It's in the box.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's just carrying a box around full of some stuff.
Yeah. Or takes that and sets it next to the ship, something like that.
Yeah. Because her crew is definitely going to like, oh, what did you find there? What is this?
And for like the one time ever, Ruurah is going to snap at a crew in an angry way. Like one of those half growling voices just going, don't touch that.
I will not touch. I was only asking.
Just leave it alone. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
She tried to
okay.
what she was doing. Like it was, she's trying not to think about it.
Yeah.
Hakroo is very confused, but is also just going to go back to the parts and just.
Yeah.
This is where Hakroo finally gets quiet after he I'm imagining 45 solid minutes of talking just at a gunk droid.
Yes.
This is where Hakroo shuts up.
And the gunk droid just stops when you stop. It doesn't look around or anything. It's like it was following you. When you stop moving, it stops moving. It's not communicating or doing anything else. Every once in a while, it'll say it's what percentage power it's at. But other than that,
So Lash pops in down by the supply pile and says, "I got everything here. I've got all of the information that we might find useful if we're gonna look for any of these ships.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this on board and hook it into my data pad. I don't think we want to set this into our system yet until we make sure it's secure."
Yeah.
Not full of viruses or anything.
Yeah, you came up with, there was a manifest of everything kind of on the base, and there's about $40,000 worth of, or credits worth of stuff if you were to liquidate a lot of the junk and hydroponics and the back to tanks and things like that. So it's a pretty stocked up place. Notwithstanding selling the whole base itself. So. Anything else you guys want to do on the base before you take off to Sagoria?
No, and Ruurah's not going to take anything out of the pile. She's going to be she's not excited about everything she finds there, but she's definitely doing that thing where she's like, if nobody is left, we are definitely coming back. And then start to think of the stuff as something she can play with, but until then, it's not.
I
feel like it's hers.
As I'm heading past her and heading towards the ship, I say, "Hey, we'll come back," and I just kind of walk towards the ship.
Jad's right behind you and says, "Yeah, we are coming back."
Jad walks quickly past Dodd, straight-legged, and goes into the storage area and make a perception roll. See if you could find what you think you're looking for.
Great, I'm going to hear any second. Actually, we're staying here for a minute.
Well, Lash looks over at Ruurah and tilts her head funny and says, "That's happier than I've ever seen him before."
Very excited.
I actually rolled a natural 20, so 30.
You look around, you go through everything. If there's a box, you tear it apart because you don't want to possibly leave something behind. You don't find anything that matches what could fit in that puzzle piece. It's very frustrating. You hear him go, off on the ship somewhere. So, anything else?
No, I think Ruurah's ready to
go home.
Yeah, to go home.
Then the ship slowly lifts off and moves forward through this tunnel hallway, and it makes a dip up and down, and then it's like you slowly turn down and then turn back up, so there's no light that can get out, and then you shoot out of it what looks like when you look back through the gunner thing, it doesn't look like anything but just a crevice in this thing. And you guys fly out into space, type it in the coordinates, and ship goes off. And that way we'll close it off here. We're at 10 o'clock tonight, and we'll pick up the rest next time. So thank you all for listening. Like, share, subscribe, comment. We'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.
Take us a cake if you're local.
This has been a production of Gaming Without Gaming, all rights reserved. Visit us at gamingwithoutgaming.com. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/gamingwithoutgaming. Title music is by Greg Braun. Find him on soundcloud.com/Clara7. That's KLARA-7. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Gaming Without Gaming logo music is by Kevin MacLeod.